Okay, guys, I left off with the BFG with the BFG walking into the chandelier and knocking it completely off and breaking it. And breakfast was just being brought in, so he's probably very excited about that. At this point, Mr. Tibbs suddenly realized that in order to serve the BFG at his 12-foot high grandfather clock table, he would have to climb to the top of one of the tall step ladders. What's more, he must do it balancing a huge warm plate on the palm of one hand and holding a gigantic silver coffee pot in the other. A normal man would have flinched at the thought of it, but good butlers never flinch. Up he went, up, up, and up. While the Queen and Sophie watched him with great interest, it is possible they were both secretly hoping he would lose his balance and go crashing to the floor. But good butlers never crash. At the top of the ladder, Mr. Tibbs, balancing like an acrobat, poured the BFG's coffee and placed the enormous plate before him. On the plate, there were 8 eggs, 12 sausages, 16 pieces of bacon, and a heap of fried potatoes. "What is this, your majesty?" the BFG asked, peering down at the Queen. "He's never eaten anything except snarls cumbers," Sophie said. "They taste revolting." "Well, they have not seemed to have stunted his growth," the Queen replied. The BFG grabbed the garden spade and he scooped up all the eggs, sausages, bacon, and potatoes in one go, and he shoveled them right into his enormous mouth. "By goggles!" he cried. "This stuff is making Snored's cumbers taste like Schwarzwälder." The Queen glanced up frowning, and Mr. Tibbs looked down at his toes, and his lips moved in silent prayer. "That was only a little titchy bite, eh?" the BFG said. "Is you having any more of this scrumptious grubber in your cupboard, your majesty?" "Tibbs," the Queen said, showing true regal hospitality, "fetch the gentleman another dozen fried eggs and dozen sausages." Mr. Tibbs swam out of the room, muttering unspeakable words to himself and wiping his brow with his handkerchief. The BFG lifted the huge jug and took a swallow. "Wow!" he cried, blowing a mouthful of coffee across the ballroom. "Please, what is this horrible swig pill I'm drinking, your majesty?" "Well, it's coffee," the Queen said, "freshly roasted." "Oh, it's filsome," the BFG cried out. "Where is the frobscotto?" "The what?" the Queen asked. "Delicious fizzy frobscotto," the BFG answered. "Everyone must drink frobscotto with breakfast, your majesty. Then we can all whiz pop happily together afterwards." "What does he mean?" the Queen asked, frowning at Sophie. "What is this whiz popping?" Sophie kept a straight face. "BFG," she said, "there's no frobscotto here, and whiz popping is strictly forbidden." "What?" cried the BFG. "No frobscotto, no whiz popping, no glumptious music, no boom 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 boom." "Absolutely not," Sophie said firmly. "If he would like to sing, please let him sing," the Queen said. "He doesn't want to sing," Sophie said. "But he says he wants music. We should let him play music. Can I get a violin?" "No, your majesty," Sophie said. "He's only joking." And I'll stop there.